to talk about the budget and a few other things. So let's call the meeting together. And Robin's on the call. We have David Kroner, myself, and who else do we have? We have Mike.
Mike Harden up in Panama City. Yep.
We have Mike. Good. Okay. And hopefully we'll have Ray. So
Ray should be coming.
Okay. So before we get to the budget, to just let you know, I left a message for Karen, our AG, to see if she found out when District Governor Bean would talk to us. I haven't gotten, she hasn't gotten back to me. So as I said, as soon as I hear that, I want to start making my calls, and obviously I'll have something to say. So that hopefully in the next few weeks we'll know, we'll get him on, and then we could get hopefully our members on that call when the district governor will be on. So we'll schedule probably a Tuesday or Thursday night, 7 o'clock, and we can have the governor on and AG Karen on and so forth to talk about his year, which is almost over. So obviously what he wanted to do, hopefully what he's done, and in my calls, I'll try to get everybody on. But I know one of the things you're going to talk about tonight, Robin, we're going to talk a little bit about membership and retention, so, and what we might have to do. So we can talk about that a little bit more. Yeah.
What about the presidential citation? Any progress on that?
Well, the thing is, we know what we have to do. It's not a lot. So the question is, and get some input from all of you, because we heard from Karen last week. Do we go ahead and work on this? Do I call these people, and if they're still interested in really staying with us, getting them involved to take charge with one of the elements of the different avenues that we have to do? Or do we kind of do what, see what we can get done ourselves, and maybe we don't get it this year, but next year, hopefully, if we get more people involved and committed, then we can do it more as a team and together. Then, as I said, the 80-20 rule with, 20% of us, which was even less, a handful of us doing the work for everybody, and having the glory of having a presidential citation, which technically, not too many people worked for. So it's nice to have it. It's nice to have it, on the website and this and that, but it's just like so few people, all of us on this call did all the work for it, and the rest of the people did nothing. So I don't know what your thought is, Robin. We talked about this a little bit before, but I think in looking over it, and I looked over after I spoke to Karen, I mean, I think we have a good shot of getting it. I mean, a couple of things I'm not sure about, but do you think we should do the best we can and see where we get, even if we don't succeed? I mean, we could probably succeed next year, but as I said, there are several people who really, could help out and do more who aren't on the call tonight, including people like Trish and so forth with the membership part. And I know she's had some problems, but I haven't seen her on a call for, for a long time. Jim Tremmel, I made, you heard I made the little comment sort of roundabout with Karen about, being on the calls and whatever. I don't see him here tonight yet. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but it's the same people, the same 4 or 5 of us every week on a board call or on a meeting call. And we're doing all the same things and keeping the club going, and talking always about the same things, doing the same things, whereas everybody else is not on here. So maybe get your feedback, what you think.
Yeah.
What you'd like to do.
Hi, David. You want to make a comment?
I do, Mr. President. From the bully pulpit, I would appreciate if you would let the members know your vision thing, that you think the presidential citation is a good thing, assign tasks, and if they fail, you're no worse off than if you try to do it all and fail, except the club will be better off because people will have a chance to grow and learn, as will our next incoming president.
Okay, well, that's, I'm glad the bully pulpit said, that was good, David. Thank you for the, and I see all the little badges behind you. So all the places you've been and so forth. No, that's a good point. And again, I think a lot of it's going to come by making these calls and doing that. As I said, it was a couple-pronged effect to ask about the, presidential citation, to find out, committees they'd like to be on, what they'd like to see the club do, and also to let them know when the district governor will be on so they can be on. So that's a good point. And again, maybe find out if people still want to stay with the club. As I said, we're all big boys here. We might get some people say, listen, you know what, thanks for calling. And I finally got to talk to somebody, and you know what, I'm not interested. Fine. It's okay. I mean, I'm glad you told me. So I'm sure we might find that out too, but it's no problem for me. So yeah, I was just waiting, as you know, to find out when the state with the governor would be, because it was a great segue. But if I don't hear from Karen by Monday, I'm just going to start calling because I don't want to wait anymore. And I will, talk about the citation, some of the other things we've talked about, and so forth and so on. And then, but good point. Thank you, David. And Robin, getting back to, I know we're going to talk about the budget and whatever, and I know we're going to have a little bit of, we're going to have a little, as you say, we are a little bit, oh, hey, there's Ray. Ray, you're looking good over there in Jacksonville, I think.
Yeah, way up here north in Jacksonville.
Well, thanks for getting on here with us. We were just talking a little bit about the presidential citation and so forth, and Robin asked, what I wanted to do, and I followed up from last week. Do we want to work hard to get this? Do we want to try to get the membership to get on board to do it? Do we want to wait to next year? So I'm going to start reaching out to the people and seeing as we mentioned, I think the phone call is going to be good because I can introduce myself to people I don't know, find out, why they're not coming to the meetings and getting involved, what we can do for them, if they really even want to stay. And if they do, we have a great chance of getting the citation where they'd like to be a part of it. And I'd like to put them on a committee, and which one do you want to be on? Or I have one I can put you on. So we can do that. So I will make my spreadsheet, get going, start calling down the list. I mean, I won't be calling you guys because, that will be a couple less calls, but I'll just go down and call people, everybody from Trish and Jim and everybody else, and find out what the story is. We have the thing for officers, so getting next year's officers wrapped up. As you know, we had heard, or as I mentioned last week, Jim Tremmel, I had the feeling or was under the impression wants to be PE for the following year, but I got to find out. I got to double check with him and see if that's what he wants to do, because I would feel that a president-elect would be on these calls and be finding out what's going, so he could take the reign in the following year and work on everything that we're doing and we're getting done and continue on for his year, so, or her year. So I'll find that out too, so we can get that list of officers, because I know I got an email about that, that we have to get on. So I will work on that. I'll get down the list. And also, Ray, as I mentioned, I emailed Karen again to find out when the District Governor Bean will come on a call. So hopefully by Monday I'll have that date and I can get that out to everybody. But it'll be a great segue to call and introduce myself to people I don't know and let them know that they really need to be on that call with the governor if they certainly want to be part of our club. So I'll be working on that, and I'll have some talking points that I can grow with and get working on. So those are just some of the things that we talked about the last couple of minutes with the presidential citation and so forth. So David said, you know, get on the call, call them, get them involved, and give them tasks to do. And I have no problem with that. As I mentioned too, it might be that we, you know, a little attrition. If people aren't interested, maybe they'll say, I'm glad you're calling me because ABC, this is not for me, or whatever, or so forth and so on. So if I can get somebody to stay, I will. Maybe if worst comes to worst, maybe they want to join a brick and mortar club or some, another e-club, or I'd rather not have them leave Rotary per se, but I will kind of find out what the story is, individual story, when I talk to each of these people and see what we can do for them. Because obviously, when I went to Pets, everybody is our client, so we have to give really good customer service. And what we need to do to keep these people not only part of Rotary, but everything from being entertained to challenged and doing the service we do and so forth and so on. So I will let you know as I get through those calls. I'll take notes, and we can meet. The board can meet. We can meet and talk about perhaps different members. If I'm learning things, maybe people want a different time for a call, or maybe they want a lunch call, or some other things. So I'll keep a list of different things that they're looking for, and what we can do, and to challenge them, what committees they want to be on, what they want to do, and let them know my insight and that of the club for the next year, and see where we go. And also if they can be a part of the presidential challenge, the presidential citation, if we want to get that done, and for them to be a part of it this year, because we have till June for that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll start calling anyhow, even if I don't hear from Karen, because I just don't want to keep on, waiting, because it's almost June. We only have April, May, June, 3 more months in the Rotary fiscal year, and then July 1st is a new year and new everything. So that's where we stand with that. So I'll just keep on rolling the ball and see where we go, and hopefully a lot of people will. I'm sure they're going to like to get a phone call, because they haven't heard, certainly from me, and maybe from really any of us. So I know Robin used to call people a lot, so I'll get that going, and that should help us out for the coming year and into next year. And also ask them, bring somebody to a meeting. If they have somebody, if they want to be a part of it, this, and they have somebody that they feel also, I will invite them to do that as well. Maybe they know somebody who could be a great Rotarian and interested in what we do, but they need to, they need to be a part of it.
Okay.
So,
you just need to make those calls, Andy,
Yeah.
and go down through it, and let's see where we're at. What else do we need to discuss this evening? Did you have anything else in mind?
Robin, I want to, we have, because I know you and Ray talk, we're going to have a little shortfall, right?
Well, we budgeted for a shortfall of 1,000, and our bank account is comfortable in that we still have close to 1 year's expenses if we need them. And that would be after we pay the approved 2,000 for Dominica. Okay?
Right.
And we also approved last year the second year of that secondary school scholarship for that student in Dominica, and we had that money there.
Okay.
After that, I've circulated to the board, but I'll send you a copy as well, Mike. It's no harm to have it. Everybody should see it. A draft budget that Ray and I put together this afternoon. And we've circulated to the board for members to have their say on it. Right now, if we put into it the Dominica scholarship the second year, because we will be paying it out next year, then we would come up with a deficit of $2,000. But we already have that money, so our deficit should really only be about 1,000, and that's taking our membership down a little bit. Last year we budgeted 25 at 400. This year we have 2 members that are not responsive, but they are paid up to the 30th of June. Perhaps you might be able to shake them loose. One is Vera Kohr in Germany, Hans' daughter or past president, and she has intimated that she was going to look at some other clubs locally at this stage. I get emails back, they're non-deliverable. I send them to Hans, asking him to try to get in touch with her. And the other person, we have a person on leave of absence, Dorothy Wickeyhalter, and I have no communication. She has always paid her dues, and I'm just not sure. Hans, she's in Switzerland, and Hans had said she had been ill again, and I don't know what. So I just thought it prudent to go from 25 to 23.
Okay.
We can declare whatever numbers we want outside, but for the purposes of working with the cash, we need to be a little bit clear on what our income is likely to be.
Okay.
So,
Robin, let me ask you when, because I've only been with the club a couple years. When was the last time you've had an increase, a dues increase? It's $100. It's $100 a quarter.
It's $100 a quarter.
How long has that been?
It's Ray.
Yeah, that occurred when Robin was first president, about 2 years ago, I would say. And the trade-off, what happened is that we had dues like every club, and then we asked people for donations. And so the trade-off was $100 a quarter or $400 a year, but we would not solicit our members for donations. And that occurred, Robin, I think during your first year, and it was, as I said, it was about 2 years ago. I might add that I thought we were going to lose members when we did this. As it turned out, I think we lost one or two. Mm-hmm. Okay. We didn't, and so I'm comfortable with I'm comfortable with that arrangement. I think it's a good arrangement because we are an E club. It's very difficult to solicit or have fundraisers or happy dollars, and I think it works. But okay. I would not suggest that we raise it again unless I see a real crisis.
Okay, wanted to.
We should bear in mind, and I agree with Ray on keeping it at $100 because it allows us to do a fairly prudent about 5,000 or 6,000 worth of giving, which isn't too shabby. But the RI dues and the district dues have gone up in those 3 or 4 years. Each year they've gone up, and we've been absorbing that.
Right.
And Ray is comfortable, and I'm reasonably comfortable keeping it as it is.
Okay.
And we should also remember that some of the expenses are related to our membership. The district dues, the international dues are dependent upon the number of members.
Right.
So that may fluctuate. However, we have other fixed expenses that do not fluctuate. The technology part of it, the GoDaddy, the DACDB, Club Express has a monthly fee that went up last year. So some of these expenses are fixed and do not fluctuate with membership.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get your opinion, Ray, because you're the money man, and let's hear from our other money man, Mr. Kroner, because he always. What do you think, David? Are you comfortable with everything from what you know, or do you have any thoughts?
I should have copied John the email, David. I just forgot.
Okay.
Not an issue, not a problem. I remember Robin's conversation a couple of years ago, and Robin hasn't changed the word in the slightest. You know, we have the basic dues that cover the club, and then we collect a little more. We assess ourselves a little more for some of the other stuff we want to do. And, you know, it worked. Nobody quit, or the person who quit, he came back in as a with a free membership. I think that was the only one who quit out of there, if my memory serves me correct. So, you know, why upset the apple cart? It's working. If we want, we can ask people to kick in if there's any particular projects they want to support.
Okay. No,
In the meanwhile, Andy, talk to the people. Once you talk to the people, you'll get a sense for what they want or they don't want from the club.
David, I said that. I will start that Monday, and I'll make all my notes, and I should have a good feeling in about 2 weeks.
Mike, do you have any comments? Mike Harden?
What?
Do you have any
Mike,
comments? I feel free to jump in, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, it would help if I unmute. Sorry about that. I had the wrong button. No, it makes sense. I actually remember when Robin was president, I was still in Pensacola with the Cordova Club, and Robin talking about the increase in the due structures and why he thought that would make sense. It makes perfect sense. I mean, what you're describing, I think, is a natural evolution of a club, whether it's sitting here online or sitting in a brick and mortar place. So,
Okay.
Mike, you were president of Cordova, weren't you, Mike?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and secretary and treasurer. Yeah, so Mike has a wealth of experience. Yeah.
Executive step and fetch it. Yep, that was what I did.
Well, that's you've been through it. Robin, do you know? And again, I don't really know. I didn't ask in any of the E-Club, executive meetings that we've had. But are we pretty consistent with the other clubs like Canada One or whatever with their dues? Are we?
Well, I think our web page and our meetings could be better. I just don't have the technical skills to jazz it up and do. I keep shoveling stuff in, but I prefer somebody to be able to address it and present it an awful lot better than it is.
Well, in my calls, let me see if I can find somebody.
If you can find someone that'll do that, that would
maybe
be
an
great.
intern. Yeah, let me. I've asked a couple people. Nobody's gotten back to me, but let me work on that. But no, I'm talking about their fees, their membership fees. Do you know what a club
I think we're in the ballpark. Maybe E-Club One might be a bit less, but then they tap their members for funds. And they put a little bit more pressure on their members to be involved. I think there was a comment there on one of their Zoom meetings that I sat in on, and they said the guy was saying that people come and join an E-Club and they think they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, I think we're the outlier from the point of view of engagement. Now, that could be because there are clusters of people closer together and they can meet up periodically. Like that's the big thing. But still, they have members scattered around the world. They have like 100 and something members.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we should keep everything the way it is. I mean, going into the next fiscal Rotary year, I think, as Ray said, if things get really, really tight, we can try to, come up with some solutions. But as David said, let's not break the Rotary wheel or change it or whatever. It's going okay, and we'll get through it. We'll just have a little tightness, so we'll just tighten up our belt a little bit, and also let's see if we can find some new members. That always helps too. So we can.
David has his hand up.
With the new tax code, the way it was explained to me by a tax attorney last night, it sounds like a lot of people are going to alternate their charitable giving so as a way of increasing to be able to take advantage of the deduction. So it may be that a lot of Americans may not want to kick in a lot of money to a charity each year, but instead to double up every other year.
Okay. Well, you know, some people
Okay.
might even.
I've sent out to the membership an update on the Dominica Disaster Relief Project, and it shows where we're going, and it shows that we have a gap. And while it's an update, it's also asking if anybody has any friends that, or if any of the members didn't chip in, maybe they come up with a few bucks. I've talked to the guys in Cordova here, and they are currently running this raffle for a week in a condo during the Blue Angels week. $100 a ticket. They're selling 500 tickets. So once they get some funding in, they will help us bridge the gap. They will probably come up with $300 or $500.
That's great.
And we can have a look once we get another month down the road. I think we can have a look and maybe come up with a few hundred as well. And then we'll figure out a way to get the rest of it. Hans in Dominica said that they could give us something from their disaster fund, but I don't like taking money from their club, although they probably should have a little bit of skin in the game. But, you know, if they're going to give us some money, it's going to cost them to send it up here. And we'll figure something out anyway. But we can bridge the gap. So what I'm going to do now is put this proposal into the April board meeting and ask for approval to go ahead with the project formally.
Okay.
Because we need to order the stuff. And I was just looking today, the suppliers all seem to be US based, so we can actually pay for the components from here rather than sending money to Dominica and having them sending it back up here again.
Yeah, Robin and I talked about this this afternoon, and my take on it is that the cost of this particular project is within our ability. As Robin said, we're short probably about $1,000, maybe a little over $1,000, $1,500. But I think it's doable, and we've been searching for a way to expend this money, and it seems to me this is the logical way to go. I mean, I know that we talked about other projects initially, but in terms of feasibility, it seems this project is doable. It's something we can do, take credit for, and I think it's just it's a go.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. And it's not. It's only a little bit. The difference is only a little bit. It's not that much. So I think
No, it's not.
it's not like you're asking for $5,000 or $10,000. So that's very doable. I think it'd be great. I mean, to come to fruition.
I'd be happy to put the sucker to bed. I can tell you that much.
Oh, it'd be great. And we work
David,
on some.
did you have a comment, David?
It was a question only, and yes is an acceptable answer. The pricing on this thing, was this compared by anything or anybody who knows anything about technology?
I have a neighbor who actually donated $300 to the fund, who is in software business, and that business. He was looking and he said he wished he could buy those laptops at that price.
Thank you.
Pretty good. So I felt comfortable with that.
Thank you.
That would be.
Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears to me that this proposal was sort of put together by, I think her name is Jermaine Jewel Jean-Pierre, who is with the government in Dominica. She has a title, and she is the one who is coordinating this. Is that correct?
Yeah, she is director of IT with the government of Dominica. So this is going to mean, seeing as she is placing the order, this is going to mean that we'll be avoiding import duties and stuff like that. And she'd be able to shepherd it through down there. And of course, then our own people are on the ground up in Portsmouth. And one of the things we can task them with is to make sure that there is a safe room or storage area. So in the event of another hurricane coming in there, that they can store all this stuff in a place that will be dry and safe from destruction with roofs falling in or something like that.
Yeah. Am I also correct that one of the teachers is a member of the Portsmouth Rotary Club?
Yeah, one of the members of the Portsmouth Club is a teacher at the school.
So we have a contact in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we have somebody we can communicate with at the school.
Yes.
Okay. David, everybody, when I do this call, start my calling next week, I mean, I don't think it's heavy-handed, but what do you think about seeing how the conversation goes with our members, but talking to them about this again and seeing maybe if they want to, if it comes up, maybe they want to give something.
Yeah, why not?
Is that an okay
because
idea?
not all our members contributed.
Yeah, Andy, I would just caution to be a little careful about that.
Okay.
Some of our members, and I suspect some of our members who may not have been otherwise able to afford it, did make some contributions. They were not large contributions, you know, $25, $50. And I think it was a sacrifice for them.
Okay.
But the fact is that they made those contributions to this fund, and I think in part because of Robin. So I'd be a little careful about that.
Yeah.
And the other thing you should keep in mind is that when we take $2,000 out of the budget, we're really taking $2,000 from the dues of the members. So
right.
every member in the club is really contributing to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
just keep that in mind.
Right. Robin, maybe let me ask it another way. Is there anybody, you know, that you know on that list that maybe I could ask? I mean, that maybe they have the funds and wouldn't mind being asked. Maybe there are a couple people who might be in a different position. Is that?
I think the way I'd handle it is I just mentioned it in passing that we're wrapping up this project. We have a shortfall. And if anybody or they have a friend that they could suggest, you know, something in passing rather than putting it to them. That might be the way to do it. Good point, Ray. Good point.
Good. No, because I certainly don't want to be heavy-handed or them to think I'm heavy-handed because you know I don't do that. So I'll see how it goes. I'm doing it past. Maybe they'll say, "Oh, I didn't get to give, and I got a bonus, and I'd like to give $50." I said, "Well, we would love to. That would be great." So
now, to give you a little bit of impetus or something for people to talk about, we could send out the draft budget to all the members.
Okay.
Anybody have a comment on that, Ray?
No, that sounds fine.
Because we do publish the financial statements every month, and they're available for everybody to see them. Not sure that they look at them, but they're there.
No, it's certainly being transparent. I would do it. David, do you have a thought, comment? Is that okay?
Transparency is a wonderful thing. Go for it.
Okay. That was pretty quick. Mike? Mike, are you there? He might have muted himself.
Always agree. It never hurts to share the information that's out there.
Okay, so we all agree, our small crowd here. Okay. I think that'd be great, Robin.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I wish I knew how to do it. I mean, I would love to do if we could do some kind of online sort of fundraiser in a sense that if we had something really cool to raffle and we had a winner and we could raise some money. Unfortunately, I don't have an iPad or something really cool to give unless I go and talk to the manager here at Apple. Maybe they'll donate something, but that could be great if found something of some nice value that even our members might like to do our own raffles. So I don't know if we could do something like that. Just a thought, but that certainly, depending upon what it is, that could get some money. I've never done really an online raffle, but
Well, yeah, David has his hand up, but Andy, I've researched this before. We have to be very, very careful about the raffle.
Okay.
Okay, there's some legal issues involving a raffle, and especially involving an online raffle.
I'm sure.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
Let's not rush into that. That
Okay.
idea has been brought up before, but
Okay. It was just a
okay.
thought, but if Ray,
Yeah.
if you're saying there's
David
issues,
wants to talk.
I don't want the headaches, and I'm sure we don't want the headaches. So
Yeah.
it was just a good idea. We'll leave it at that. I think David has a thought.
My thought is that you could offer the hair straightening products as part of the raffle for myself, Ray, and Robin.
Okay. Okay. Send in your money now. It's like
You're such a nice guy.
and it's
Because you have some hair, is it?
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
That's cool.
Here it is. Restore Peppermint. I don't know if you could see that. Restore Peppermint. It's real $22. It really works.
Looks like bottled gasoline.
And I can send it out to you free shipping. Okay, free shipping.
Wow.
And Ray said Ray's already gonna put in his order. No, I'm only So okay, Ray, we'll stay away from that. We'll stay away from the online thing. With just the thought of
Yeah, but however, there's no problem in selling a product if we have maybe a hair restorer. We could mix up a concoction and sell it. That's fine.
Okay. Just
Cool.
a thought.
Oh, you're
Okay.
drinking the stuff too, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it too. It's Irish. It's top of the Irish whiskey that Robin brought back. It's very tasty. It's about 2 years old, and I think we'll do about $80 a bottle. How's that? I'll pull it
That
off.
sounds
There
good.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we have to go through?
I think the last thing, didn't you talked about, was it membership or retention or some of the things that you wanted to, changes with membership or something, or it was the last thing that you mentioned.
Sorry, I didn't get what you're saying. Your speaker is.
It was the last thing on your list.
What was that?
It was the last thing on your list.
I know. What was it?
Let me find out what it is. Give me a minute here, please.
Because I'd be afraid to pull it up because I'd probably blow the meeting.
Hold on.
I'm not.
Hold on, let me look here. Let me look. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not a two-screen merchant.
Number 3 on your list was minimum club membership requirement.
There you go. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, you were going to. I sent you that thing that Trish sent me. You were going to lay out the minimum requirements for membership.
Okay.
Get it out to the people. And I sent you down something that Trish sent. And we also have a fireside chat that it's on the website. You can just hit the button and pull it up and it'll give you a couple of pointers. And of course, the other thing was then on the attendance that Ray mentioned, that new club in Vero Beach, they said they weren't really looking at attendance. Ray,
Yeah.
comment on that?
Just to correct you, Robin, it's Vero Beach is south of us. It's in Indian River County. I'm in Vieira. There's a difference. I'm in Brevard County, so it's the Vieira Rotary Club. but you're correct. It's the history is that I had originally, when I came to Florida, I joined the Viera Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club dissolved after a couple of years, not because I joined, but for other reasons. And that's why I joined. I found the E Club and joined the E Club. But they formed a new Viera Rotary Club, and I've attended at least one of their meetings, and they very candid. They don't pay much attention to attendance at all, but they apparently have good attendance and pretty good participation.
That's probably why they don't pay attention.
They just don't focus on it.
Yeah, they don't have to.
Yeah.
So, do you maybe I won't get into this too much on these telephone calls because again,
When you're talking to Karen, ask her, has she heard anything about that?
Okay.
Or what the opinion is down there.
You know what? I'll try to call Trish tomorrow. I haven't talked to her for a while. I'll try to call her, Trish. I'm going to call Trish first. Okay, she'll be first on my list and get a little thing for her and how things are going. So I'll call her and maybe I can, little pointers from her and whatever, and maybe weave that into my phone call with, as I start next week. But I have a number. I'll call her first, and then also I'm going to call Jim Tremmel, see what's going on there, so we have a little feeling, what's happening there, and then kind of go along my list, and I'll work on that.
What else?
Well, if we have any other business other than
David,
did Peter Vaca call you, Robin, and you, Andy, to explain how to use the invitation function on the email?
I got to think. I think Robin, I don't know if he spoke to you. I just congratulated him on his anniversary. I thought it was birthday or something, but it's his anniversary. So, I haven't heard from him. No.
Okay, and then question about live meetings. I've got 3 live speakers, one for our club just as a regular club meeting. I've got another one which would be for the fishing fellowship. If it's okay with you, I'd like to use our Zoom meeting and have one of the members do a presentation for the fishing fellowship. We can also use that as a club program at the same time. And the third one will be in July from Germany, and it'll be Marietta Westphal talking about the Hamburg Convention coming up next year.
My answer is yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Anybody else? I think that's great.
That'll be different.
Great. Yeah.
Different. Maybe. And then, David, would you do me a favor? You just email me those little blurbs about what they are so I can let people know, hey, by the way, upcoming is this and this and this live thing. It's going to be really exciting. So we want you on board. You're asking for different things. So here it is. So just give me a little blurb, David, what they are.
Done.
And that way I'll have it on my little call when I talk to people about what's coming up for the year. And then, and Robin, again, I say this, and I know you're waiting for me to do it. We'll put this all on a calendar.
So, you what?
I said, we'll put this all on a calendar, Robin, including the booze I have right here, which is Fuse iced tea. We'll put it all on a calendar.
Whatever. Man, you're hitting that bottle something awfully hard. It must be great hairdressing stuff.
I got a buzz going on over here.
Okay, are we done?
I think so. Anybody, Mike? I'm glad, Mike, it was great to have you on the call. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Robin, I just shot you an email you'll enjoy when you see it, when you get off of it.
Mike, anything you'd like to see? Anything, since I've been seeing you for a while, anything comes to mind? Anything, I know David's going to have some great things coming up, and anything that you feel calling these people next week, anything to say or get them really involved or anything? You've been president, you've done a lot too. Anything comes to your mind?
No, I think your approach of just actually reaching out to them, electronic club or electronic meetings can be hard for folks to connect. Sometimes it's easy just to blow past them, just because of life happens actually. But I think that personal call will really make a difference.
Okay.
And I think you'll be surprised with folks saying, "Yeah, count me in. I want to do something," or they'll give input on the presidential citation, whether they want to knock it out between now and the end of this club year, or we'll tackle it next year. So I think
Great.
you're on the right track.
Well, thank you for getting on board with that. And David, I'll contact Peter so we can do those invitations for Zoom and so forth. So we'll show up on people's calendar, because you're really right with that. I have a lot of meetings for, university, and unless I get those meeting reminders that day or 15 minutes before, a lot of times I just, oh my God, I forgot this because it didn't show up. And even for me. So if we get that, that might be a big help, as David says. So once we find out how to do that and get that going, then people can't say they didn't know or they weren't reminded. So I'll get working on that, because I think that can be a big help. And David had a great point with that.
You mentioned at one stage, Andy, that you're going to see if you had an intern down there or some student that could take on our Facebook page.
We got some new people. We have a new sort of communications and digital media department. I met some of the people, so I will reach out to them. They're new people, and some of them were professors. So maybe somebody would be interested in doing that. And the one last thing is, I'm still trying to get the vice president here at the university to talk to get on about our online Rotary Act. So I haven't forgotten about that. I keep on, because that would be a great thing, and that could really open up some great doors for us, for the club, and for Rotary actors and so forth. So that's on the list too. So we have some great things to do. It's just kind of putting them all together on that Rotary wheel and getting them going. I think we're definitely on the right place. It's just getting ready to go to the next level, and hopefully then we'll have people excited to come on. I was really excited to hear David with those 3 kind of meetings. I mean, I want to hear the fish and the fish meeting too. Hunting and fishing, that should be pretty interesting, just to go on the call and find out what it's about. So I think we can get some interesting people, and having those hunting and fishing Rotarians come on and maybe learn a little bit what we do. Who knows? Maybe they'll want to be a part of what we do too. So that could be great.
Okay.
Okay.
So are we done?
Okay, we're done. Anything else, Ray? Anything
Okay,
else?
let's finish up with the 4-way test.
Okay. Number 1.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Number 2 is fair to all concerned.
Number
Number
3.
3, will it be goodwill and better friendships?
Number 4.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will be
Cool.
beneficial to drink.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
See
I'll
y'all.
talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.